Welcome to Wiki Africa Hour, a monthly live broadcast airing the fresh perspectives of Africa's Wikimedians. It's a space where they share their work and knowledge and digest, through African realities, the global Wikimedia movement. Wiki Africa Hour, the voice of African Wikimedians.
Welcome back to Wiki Africa Hour News. As always, we are here with the latest updates from across the Wikimedia movement. Let's dive into this month's highlights, starting with exciting Wiki Loves Africa photographic contest news.
This year's contest brought in an incredible range of submissions from across the continent. And to give us a full breakdown of the stats, highlights, and heartfelt thanks to everyone involved, here's Hilary, the Wiki Loves Africa 2025 facilitator.
Hi, it's Hilary, Wiki Loves Africa facilitator, and I am excited to announce to all the statistics of Wiki Loves Africa 2025 under the theme Farm to Plate. So this year we were able to record over 30,000 images submitted by participants from all over Africa for Wiki Loves Africa 2025, excluding the 132 videos and the 14 audios submitted. And we also had 45 Wikimedia communities from 34 African countries participate in Wiki Loves Africa 2025. All this result that we had wouldn't have been possible without the local organizers who went outside their way to make sure that Wiki Loves Africa was held in their respective communities and help the participants to participate in the campaign. And we won't forget to thank the volunteers, trainers who help us in our training and webinar session for Wiki Loves Africa 2025. We say thank you all, and we see all you do, and we value your support. So just stay tuned and you will get to hear from us soon. For the winners of Wiki Loves Africa 2025, we'll be announcing the results in August. And before then, just stay tuned, stay glued to our website, wikilovesafrica.net, and you'll see information coming your way. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilary. And once again, a huge thank you to everyone involved in making sure this year's contest is a major success. Always incredible to see the talent across the continent. Speaking of powerful contributions, let's turn our attention to the following campaigns and contests.
The She Said campaign is back from September 1st to December 31st, celebrating the voices of remarkable women on Wikicode. Want to run a local campaign? Be sure to apply for a Wikimedia Rabbit grant by July 1st, the second cycle. The September deadline may be too late. Last year's edition saw over 11,000 articles created or improved. Let's aim even higher this year. Check the meta page on screen for grant info and how to get started.
The 6th edition of the Wikipedia Pages Wanting Photos campaign is back. Running from July 1st to August 31st, the campaign encourages editors to add photos from Wikimedia Commons to Wikipedia articles that need visual support. Images from Wiki Loves Africa, Wiki Loves Earth, Wiki Loves Folklore, and others are perfect for this. Organizers are encouraged to lead locally, host editathons, organize workshops, and grow visual content capacity. Would you like to get involved? Check the meta link on screen for full details and to sign up as a local coordinator. Participants must have registered Wikimedia accounts by July 1st, 2025.
Africa Wiki Challenge 2025 is in full swing, running until June 30th. This year's powerful theme is reclaiming our narrative, justice for Africans and diaspora through reparation, aligned with the African Union's Year of Justice. Join Wikimedians across the continent in creating and improving articles in historical injustices, reparations, and African resilience. You can also contribute images, organize events, or participate in training sessions. There are prizes to be won too, so don't miss out. See the link on screen for how to take part. Now for some Wiki events and workshops.
Happening on May 30th at 1700 UTC, the next Wikiwomen User Group Capacity Building Workshop focuses on Wikipedia's notability guidelines, with a special lens on writing women's biographies. Led by facilitator user Uncle Bash 007, The session will give you tools to confidently navigate notability standards while telling women's stories on Wikipedia. This is open to all Wiki women and allies. See the Meta link on screen to register. The next language community meeting takes place on the 30th of May at 1500 UTC. It's a space to share language-related updates, technical challenges, and solutions, with a spotlight this month on an onboarding experiment and community stories from Nigeria. Check out the April 2025 edition of the Language and Internalization newsletter and feel free to contribute a topic or join the conversation via the Meta page.
The LD4 2025 conference is now accepting proposals. This year's theme is linked data in the real world, and you're inviting 10-minute lightning talks, 30-minute presentations, or workshops that explore linked data applications in GLAM institutions. That's galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. The organizers are especially encouraging submissions from underrepresented communities and early career professionals. Submit your proposal by 30 May using the form linked on Meta. And finally, news from the Wikimedia Foundation.
The call for candidates to serve on the Universal Code of Conduct Coordinating Committee is open until May 28th. If you're passionate about Wikimedia's community health and governance, this is your opportunity to step up. Voting takes place from June 1st to June 15th. See the screen for details on how to nominate yourself or support others.
A major leadership transition is underway at the Wikimedia Foundation. The global search has begun for the next Chief Executive Officer, aiming for a handover by January 2026, which coincides with Wikipedia's 25th anniversary. Mariana reflects on recent achievements, including better community engagement, more responsible financial planning, and expanded technical infrastructure, and emphasizes that this transition is both about continuity and imagining a bigger, better future for free knowledge. You can read the full announcement and follow the research process on DEF.
Don't miss out. Catch all the updates, links, and featured items on the Wiki Africa Hour news page on MetaWiki.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 46th episode of Wiki Africa Hour. As you already know, Wiki Africa Hour is the voice of African Wikimedians, and it's led and supported by Wiki in Africa. So here we have a space to share, exchange, and digest. For today's episode, we have, as usual, three main sections. The first section we already presented is the recorded news for May. After that, we will have the main conversation topic about Wikimedia bodies. The title of the conversation topic is Organize, Lead, Sustain the Power of Wikimedia Bodies. And lastly, we will have a very special in focus section for today, which will be like highlights from special moments in Wiki Loves Africa. So after the main conversation session, do not go away. We will have another part. This is just to remind you. Let's start with the main topic for today. We are honored to have Delphine Minah as our host. Delphine began contributing to Wikimedia projects in 2004. Her involvement soon expanded beyond editing to include community governance. And aside from her volunteer engagement over the years, she worked also for the Wikimedia Foundation as a program officer to support grant programs and organizational development of affiliates. And since 2022, she has gone back to being an active Wikimedia volunteer. And recently, she was appointed to the newly formed Global Resources Distribution Committee. So thank you so much, Delphine, for accepting the invitation and joining us for today. It's going to be a really fruitful and interesting episode. Thank you so much. I'll be on the backstage, and now mic is yours.
Thank you so much, Donia, and sorry for the stress. I just arrived, so here you go. We have a really exciting show today, and I am really happy to be here and present it. I am just the person who coordinates, on stage. Today's episode, we will discuss Wikimedia organized groups, or some know them as affiliates, how they came to be, how they work, what they do, and their future. My name is Delphine Ménard, and I have been involved in the organized part of Wikimedia for many years, 20. And I'm really super happy to host this episode and have a chance to discuss with all of you and our amazing guests, which I will present in a minute, everything about Wikimedia entities. In this episode, you will learn how to start and sustain a Wikimedia organization or an organized group, understand the challenges and the advantages of organizing. I hope all of you come with a lot of questions for our guests. Please put them in the comments and tell us in the chat where you're joining us from today, so that we can get to know each other and ask your questions during the discussion so we can have our guests' insights on them. So I think that the next step is for me to present our guests. All of them have extensive experience with Wikimedia bodies. They are founders, organizers, and leaders in the Wikimedia movement and projects, and of course in Africa, which is kind of the whole point of this Africa Hour. I am excited to talk to them on this topic and to see what they have to say on this subject. I'm going to ask all of them to present themselves in about 2.5 seconds, their name, maybe where they are located and what they did, and then maybe I'll just say something about each of them. But welcome all of you, and please, I'm going to start as the screen shows for me. Martin, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Delphine. My name is Martin Hipangwa. I'm from Namibia, but I'm currently staying in Cape Town. And I'm the founder of Wikimedia Community User Group Namibia. Sorry, thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I thought you were done. Harriet, you're next on my list.
Yeah, thank you, Delphine. Harriet, hello everyone. I'm Harriet from Ghana, and I'm a member of the Affiliations Committee and also leading a community here in Ghana by name Global Open Initiative Foundation. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Harriet, for joining us. Donatien, you're next on my list.
Ouais, salut. Please let me speak in French. Donatien Kanga depuis Abidjan, en Côte d'Ivoire.
Donatien joins us from Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire.
Voilà, donc je suis membre fondateur de la communauté Wiki de Côte d'Ivoire. User Group
Founder member of the community Côte d'Ivoire.
Et je préside le bureau exécutif de l'association.
And president of the executive bureau of the association. Thank you, Donatien. So as you can understand, I will be translating Donatien's French, because he's going to be very nice and speak very slowly and give me a lot of space in between the sentences so that I can translate. Tochi, my friend, introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, Delphine. Hi, everyone. My name is Tochi Precious. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a founding member of the Igbo Wikimedian User Group, as well as a Wikimedian in residence at Wikitongues.
Thank you, all of you. I'm just going to add a little thing on each of you that I've kind of gathered doing my research. So Harriet introduced herself, but she's also part of the Affiliations Committee, which might come in handy in this conversation. So I want to say that. Tochi is very much into languages and a language activist and working on a lot of things that have to do with languages in the Wikimedia movement. Martin is a librarian, if I'm not mistaken, or at least studies, is a research librarian, and so has a lot to tell us about that side of Wikimedia. And Donatien, as he said, is also a very active contributor in the Wikipedia in French. But one of the reason why we invited him is also because his volunteer work has been instrumental in supporting sustainability of the movement in Africa. So all of you have these traits. I just wanted to point them out to make sure that everyone knew you. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry, I'm a bit stressed out. It's my first time doing something like this. So so thank you so much for being here. And I think I'm just going to start the conversation so that we have time to talk about it. And the first thing is I wanted to kind of establish the context, right? And why the context? Because, well, one of my big things in Wikimedia has always been context is key. If we don't understand where we come from, it's much harder. But I do have a quote from a very long time ago from Britta, who was an American, if I'm not mistaken, US contributor, user Dreamy Shade. And she said this: if we don't think of Wikipedia as having a specific context and history, we won't be able to think about Wikipedia in a way that actually makes sense. So this is a bit what we're trying to do here. I think that Wikimedia bodies really are the embodiment of what it means to bring our online projects to the real world. And so that is why we're here today to talk about this. Just to give you a bit of information, today the Wikimedia movement has 152 user groups, 39 chapters, and 2 thematic organizations, a total of 193 affiliates. And that's only for the recognized groups, right? There are other groups who are not affiliates, but who also are working very hard in advancing the mission. And I just wanted to give like a super quick history of how we came to these bodies, right? Around 2006 and 2007, we started at the time it was called the Chapters Committee, which basically kind of looked at the organizations that were happening already in Wikimedia. Most of them were national, most of them were European, if not all of them, or North American. And this Chapters Committee became later the AFCOM that we know today, that is taking care of affiliates. But the term affiliates really came into play around 2012, when during a strategic kind of work that we did around movement roles was the name of it. And that's where user groups came about. And that's the first time they came up. And the idea behind user groups was to make sure that everyone had as many possibilities to come and be part of Wikimedia in a semi kind of official way, but really kind of being recognized for whatever work they did at Wikimedia. I want to say that while Wikipedia started in 2001, the foundation in 2003, and the first chapter in 2004, it's only in 2012 that we had the first African chapter, which was Wikimedia South Africa, which tells us how late we were in actually including, the global majority into our work and in a way that is recognized. So I want to make sure that this has changed a lot. I think we have a lot of representation from the continent now that wasn't there at the time. So now we know how many affiliates. My question to you all is, why do we need affiliates? Why do we need those organized groups, right? Not only affiliates, but organized groups. What is your take? So I'm going to start in reverse, and Tochi, maybe you can give us your take on that.
Okay. Thank you, Delphine, for that. So personally, I call these groups catchment areas, and we need them because for us in the Wikimedia movement, we want to make knowledge open and accessible to everyone. And these groups help people to work together in different places. So they help to make sure that everyone's knowledge and culture is included on Wikipedia, depending on what you're working on. Personally, I'm a founding member of the Igbo community, and we work on languages, Igbo language. Now it helps to make sure that while we are trying to safeguard the Igbo language, we are also making sure that our own knowledge is being made available on Wikipedia and also other Wikimedia projects. So in summary, these collaborative groups actually make sure that everyone's knowledge is included on the internet, Wikipedia and other Wikimedia projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Maybe Donatien, you want to go ahead and tell me why do we need those entities?
Bon, pour moi, en fait, la structuration des groupes est importante pour avoir de l'impact.
For me, the structuration of groups is important to make sure that we have impact.
Parce que tant qu'on est des contributeurs individuels dans notre coin et autres, on va pouvoir faire des choses, mais on ne pourra pas passer à l'échelle. On ne pourra pas toucher plusieurs champs d'intervention. Et même
because when we are individual contributors all alone in our corner, it's difficult to make the same kind of scale impact that you can do if you're organized.
Et dans les contextes africains, c'est difficile quand on est un individu, même un groupe informel, de pouvoir avoir des interlocuteurs d'un point de vue politique, d'un point de vue même partenariat, parce que on vous demande, vous représentez qui? C'est quelle organisation? C'est quelle structure?
And it's especially difficult in the African context when you're all by yourself to actually have partnerships or people you can talk to because they ask, who are you representing? Who are you talking on behalf of? And so it's easier when you're an organized group.
Donc, si on veut grandir, si on veut vraiment avoir de l'impact, à un moment, on sera obligé d'être structuré, de créer une organisation qui va nous permettre d'avancer dans ce travail de la promotion du libre partage de la connaissance, donc de l'open knowledge.
So basically, really getting organized is the way for us to really advance the mission and open knowledge and making sure that we have that kind of impact. Thank you. Harriet, do you want to go next?
Yes, I fully agree with all that has been shared. I believe that we need affiliates to ensure the coordination of grassroots efforts in achieving the movement's goal, and also to bring in more people as affiliates who are individuals at first, and then coming together, they are better able to join forces to champion our goals, or also to bring in more people. And when we have affiliates, they are more structured. And so we are thinking about the sustainability of our movement and also the goal that we hope to achieve in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you, Harriet. Martin? Sorry, I keep saying your name in French in my head. Martin.
I don't know. Thank you so much. I think we need affiliate because it's easier to work with the people of the same mind and looking at let me say thematic groups. These are people that work on specific areas, language. Let me say librarians. They work on one librarian, one reference. And also, there's a quote that says, "Bird of the same flock flies together." So I think it will be much more easier for people to work together in their respective groups or respective affiliates. Thank you.
Thank you all. So I've heard, a lot of things about impact, about grassroots getting together, working together. It's easier to work when you know who you're working with. The idea of making advocacy have more impact and things like this. I would love to know from our audience if they have other things. Please share with us in the comments. Why do you think we need affiliates? When I was a program officer at the foundation, I remember I had to explain my work, and I was supporting affiliates a lot. So I said I had to find a way to do this, and the only way I came up with was, what do they do, right? And what they do for me is community support and growth. And really, that's kind of, I think, the main point. And I think most of you touched upon that. Of course, the GLAM, galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. So partnerships, education as well. And of course, advocacy. I think a lot of you are doing this very, very much in your everyday work. But also something that we forget a bit, which is public relations and brand awareness. I think that actually organized groups and the people on the ground are the people who make Wikimedia known and Wikipedia known, and I think it's really important to have that. So thank you for sharing your your ideas on this. So now that we agree that we need affiliates, right, and we need organized groups and organizations on the ground, I would like to know a bit, have the history of how you came to start or to work in this organized fashion. And maybe briefly, each of you can tell me what is the story behind the groups that you've helped establish or that you're working with today what is a bit, how did they start, and how would you kind of explain to others who are listening to us how to start if they wanted to start their own so let me just think about the order. I have to like move and change. So Harriet, are you going first this time? Would that be okay?
Yes, I'll go. So one thing that I knew was very relevant was the fact that we were experienced editors, in the sense that we have an idea, the editing process. We've had the opportunity to organize a bit how editor tones are like, and also we have a little bit of idea what the movement felt like. And so with this in mind, we came together to self-organize first by just bringing on board people to contribute content. Let's bridge gaps, the gaps that we've come to be aware of, be it content gap, be it gender gap. All these gaps we felt like we could work on, and then together as active editors, we came up with a name, and then we have been contributing onwards and bringing on board more people since establishment in 2019. However, we come from different editing years. For me, it's 2016. For others, it's way back in 2011 and also 2015 and so different editing backgrounds. But the important thing was that at least we had a good idea of the movement, and then how it is to organize and edit us for or contribute to the movement. Yeah, I'd like to pass it on to another person.
Thank you so much. Yes, I think that editing to start and then, kind of wanting to get together is definitely one of the things we have. Tochi, do you want to talk about how, what is the story behind the groups you're working with?
Okay, for us in the Igbo community, I came into the movement in 2017, and it was actually coffee that brought me into the movement. Coffee and translating from English to Igbo. I mean, I'm a language person, so everything languages brings me happiness. So there was this friend of mine, my co-founder. She was running this project on a rapid grant, Igbo Women Wiki. What we're trying to do was to add more women of Igbo origin, notable women of Igbo origin, into the Igbo language Wikipedia. And while we were at it, we had this project for 6 months. We had invited a lot of people, mostly women, because we're all women. And then towards the end of the 6 months, we're like, we have a lot of followers now. What do we do with these people? Like, do we just tell them we're done with the project and you can go? Or we had to brainstorm, and we're like, we can actually start a user group, a language user group, and we had to start making researches on how to start off a user group. We applied to AFCOM. As at then, we're doing interviews, and after some back and forth with corrections, we're granted the user group right in 5th of May 2018, and since then we've been waxing strong.
That's great. Thank you so much. Martin, go ahead.
All right. I think for me, it's thanks to COVID. It's COVID that brought me to be involved in Wikipedia work. And that was in 2020. That's my first year when I participated in OneRep in the Africa Librarianship Week. And that's how I came to understand there is actually people behind Wikipedia. There is actually volunteers behind Wikipedia that contribute knowledge to this global open source. And then from that, I then started to follow up many trainings, many workshops, and I attended a conference, the Wikidaba conference that was in Uganda, that was online. And then from there, I met a lot of people. So like, it's not only librarians that worked on these things. So it's a lot of people, it's a pool of people that were working on this on Wikipedia. So, and then fast forward in 2022, we then did a conceptualization. I then applied for the first grant for the awareness and sensitization of the of the project, and then training. So I was more interested in youth development, and also early career development for librarians and teachers. So those were my first participants, and they were like, I now have 30+ people. What should I do with them? So we continue with further training, and then we had a group, and then we started. We applied for affiliation as user group, and in May last year we were affiliated as a user group. So this year May it's our 1-year anniversary.
Thank you so much for these beginnings. It's so interesting to see how everyone came into this. You can maybe tell us all in the comments if you are also in an organized group. You know, how did you come to be in an organized group? Donatien, so how did you? Comment tu as commencé? Tell us.
Pardon? Comment j'ai commencé?
How did Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire start? Like the organized
group?
Okay,
voilà.
Comment ça a commencé?
Yeah, c'est ce que j'avais compris. En fait, il y a 2 grandes phases de Wikimedia en Côte d'Ivoire. On a une phase de entre 2005 et 2012-2013. Et puis, on a la...
2012, 2013, yes.
Et puis après, on a de 2013 à maintenant, la phase du user group de l'affilié. Donc, dans la première phase...
That's the second phase.
C'est ça. Donc, dans la première phase, tu avais des contributeurs qui étaient volontaires, bénévoles, qui ne se connaissaient même pas, qui contribuaient et qui étaient simplement passionnés, qui voulaient que la Côte d'Ivoire soit présente sur Wikipédia et qui travaillaient. Donc, souvent, je sais qu'il y a certains d'entre eux qui se sont retrouvés en groupe pour travailler sans vouloir vraiment se structurer, mais simplement pour écrire. Ça, c'est vraiment cette première phase.
The first phase was a lot of volunteer people who were super passionate, who were super interested in working on Wikipedia and making sure that the Côte d'Ivoire was happening also in Wikipedia. And so they were very it was more of an individual endeavor, and they would meet, but there was no question about structuring oneself in a group. That's the first phase.
Et entre 2011, 2012, 2013, en fait, il y a eu, dans le pays même, c'était l'avènement des conférences tech, des conférences numériques et autres. Et durant l'une de ces conférences en 2013, il y a eu une présentation sur Wikipédia et l'intérêt pour la Côte d'Ivoire d'y être. Et après cette conférence, il y a eu un appel à l'action de constituer un groupe de travail qui allait se structurer pour essayer maintenant de passer à l'échelle dans le travail que faisaient les autres depuis 2005.
And so in 2013, there was, the 2011-2013 was a big surge of tech conferences in Côte d'Ivoire, where people would meet around questions and problems. And in one conference in 2013, there was a presentation about Wikipedia and showing how important it was that Côte d'Ivoire was present on Wikipedia. And so there was... this is the first time that people got to thinking about getting organized, and there was a call to action for a working group around structuration of the body to actually have a bigger impact, as you mentioned earlier.
Voilà, donc moi c'est là que j'arrive dans cette affaire. Et
that's where Nathan comes in.
Et c'est là en fait dans ce groupe là qu'on se retrouve. Et on commence à travailler sur un plan d'action pour vraiment être un groupe formel sur 2 aspects. Premier élément, se faire enregistrer au niveau de la Côte d'Ivoire comme association. Et puis, on s'est rendu compte qu'il y avait un processus d'affiliation au niveau du mouvement Wiki et qu'on pouvait demander une affiliation pour devenir user group, déjà pour être reconnu comme un planning chapter, après un user group et même ultérieurement chapter. Donc, on s'est engagé dans les 2 processus.
Yeah, and that's where they started with an action plan about the structuration of the whole. And they did 2 things. So there were 2 phases, two levels that you had to think about. One is about getting registered at the country level, the national level in Côte d'Ivoire, and as an organization, a recognized organization. And the second one around affiliation the Wikimedia movement. And Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire started as a user group and also did the search, sought also the chapter affiliation. Thank you very much, Sebastian, for these beginnings. Yeah. Thank you so much. There's one question that comes a lot, and I have a lot of questions in this section, so I'm going to try and maybe speed things just a little bit. But there's two big questions that come, and one just came in the chat, was funding, right? How do you sustain a group like this one? How do you fund a group like this one? And one of the things that I was looking at when I was browsing the different websites of the organizations you work with and for, was a lot of the bodies you work for will have not only the Media Foundation, which is kind of the primary funder of a lot of the organized groups, but also other organizations and entities. I was looking at US foundations for Wikitongues. I know about the Good Institute for Côte d'Ivoire, has been a partner for a long time. So I was wondering, can you share a bit of your experience about looking for funds and sustaining your activities? And maybe, start with Tochi.
Okay. So in terms of funding, we work with grants. We don't do the paid membership like some other communities do. Our major source of funding is the Wikimedia grants, which is the start. And then we also do have collaborations with some other larger affiliates like the Wikimedia Deutschland. We have a software collaboration with Wikimedia Deutschland, which was funded by the Arcadia Fund, and it funds our Wikimentor Africa program. And also we've been able to apply for funding from some other non-profits, some accelerator programs as well. So we haven't actually got most of these, but then we look out for them. We get to apply for them because we also want to be sustainable just in case. So and another thing is that we get to also partner with other local organizations to offset the cost of some activities that we might want to do. So in that aspect, we might not be needing funding. So let's say, for example, we want to host, let's say, a program that is centered around gender gap. We've once collaborated with my department, the Department of Foreign Languages in the University of Nigeria and Nsukka, and they gave us a venue. Like, we have this multilingual room, and they gave us that venue for free. And sometimes it can also come at a subsidized rate, and that eliminates funding for venue for our activities. So for us, this has been the way we kind of try to sustain our activities, both with in-kind funding and also like other normal funding.
Thank you so much, Tochi. That's interesting to see how that works. Who else wants to talk about this? Now I'm going to ask you what you have to say about this rather than point to you. All right, Martin Donatien.
Yeah, I could go.
All right.
Yeah, so for us, major source of funding has been the Wikimedia Foundation. But what I would like to touch on a bit is the in-kind source of funding. And we've been in partnership with an organization here in Ghana for 3 years now. And for these 3 years, they've been providing us venue space. They've also been providing us with resources to actually improve some of the gaps that we have identified. So we proposed an idea to them. We realized that there were no articles on artists here in Ghana. And so it's an organization that is called the Nubuke Foundation, which is very much focused in the arts. So based on this idea that we proposed, they were very much welcome to help us bridge that gap by providing the resources that we need in terms of books, links to sources of information, and also the venue and their staff. So their staff have been trained to be able to contribute the content. They also provide us the space without us paying for electricity, without us paying for the venue itself. and then we continue to contribute there since 2021. And it's the same for the Ghana Library Authority here in Ghana. There was this cultural event taking place, and then we as Wikimedians, when we see something that is in relation to what we do, it's either we are taking photos or going to contribute to it. So we went with the idea, we wanted to capture this. It's important to some of the articles that we have on Wikipedia. So please give us the room. And they allowed us to we spoke to them about Wikipedia, and they were very much interested. So we started also introducing them to Wikipedia, what they can do as librarians as well. This is in the central region, and they've been offering their staff, they've been offering their space and laptops for us to actually train people from there. So in terms of partnerships or gathering people who are relevant, we go with the idea of gaps. We also go with the idea of a shared interest, where we know that in the end we are going to benefit in a way, and also we are going to benefit, and this helps us a lot in managing the funds that we receive from the foundation, and also ensuring that we are able to meet our project goals, and also bringing in more people to achieve their goals. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, ouais, c'est moi.
Donatien Martin, yeah, Donatien, go for it.
Ouais,
small sentences.
Principalement, je pense que ce qui fait la durabilité à côté du financement de Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire, c'est le bénévolat. C'est les heures bénévoles de ses membres. Malgré le fait même qu'aujourd'hui on ait un staff, depuis le début, c'est une association qui est portée par des bénévoles. Presque 70 à 75% de tout ce qui est fait est porté par des bénévoles. Donc ça permet de garantir, depuis que l'association existe, son fonctionnement. Premier élément.
So, Donatien says that one of the biggest kind of resource that Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire has are its volunteers. And the people who give their time and their passion to this. And while Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire does have staff and paid staff, 75% of anything that Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire produces actually thanks to the work of volunteers.
Maintenant, ensuite, on a les financements. Donc, principale source de financement, c'est la fondation à travers ses subventions. À côté de cela, on a, comment on appelle ça, tu as parlé des partenariats, notamment avec le Goethe Institut. Donc, ces partenariats où on peut, en plus de la collaboration, on a souvent des subventions pour déployer des activités. On a aussi, aujourd'hui, on a un siège et un peu de matériel, donc on fait un peu de location d'espace qui nous permet d'avoir quelques entrées. On a des dons, ouverture des dons, puisque c'est une association, on est éligible à des dons, donc dons, cotisation des membres adhérents et autres. Donc tout ça, c'est une source de financement. Et puis, pour terminer, on a des prestations qu'on fait souvent quand nous sommes sollicités pour faire de la formation sur Wikipédia, mais aussi au-delà sur les technologies numériques, puisque on a beaucoup d'expertise dans ce sens à travers nos membres. Et pour terminer, j'avais dit que je terminais, mais le dernier, s'il te plaît. Le dernier, s'il te plaît.
So this one. So of course, the Wikimedia Foundation is one of the main funders. The one I suppose that I'm adding like trying to keep everything with that. But also partnerships. We talked about the Goethe Institute. These partnerships are maybe small grants for specific events or specific things to do. There's also because Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire now has an office. They also have they rent their own space and work with, I imagine, other organizations that do things in their space. But also there are donations and membership fees that come into the monetary budget of the association, and also trainings that they do and they get paid for to actually help people not only work with Wikipedia, but also in the digital space altogether, because they have a lot of expertise on that.
Et le dernier élément, c'est de plus en plus maintenant, on essaie de répondre à des appels d'offres, appels à projets du moins, qui qui sont cohérents avec la mission de Wikipédia de promouvoir le libre partage de la connaissance, sans forcément être focus là-dessus. Par exemple, là, cette année, on a soumissionné à des projets sur l'open data. On travaille en ce moment sur un projet concernant la lutte contre la désinformation, qui sont des sujets phares. Donc, voilà, on essaie d'être de plus en plus, de capter, de faire de la veille, de capter d'autres sources de financement pour les organisations à but non lucratif comme nous.
And so another source of sustainability is to answer tenders and people who are asking for support in or research or whatever or work around, for example, open data is one of the things that they're pursuing, that Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire is pursuing right now. But also this information, everything that has to do with open knowledge, really, and making sure that the internet is a place, I would say, right? I'm putting words in your mouth, but that's that's a bit what you said. But that's also a source of kind of making sure that the expertise that is in Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire gets kind of even beyond the wikis and gets used in other places. Thank you, Donatien. Martin, what about you?
For us, it's the same. It's the same funding model. Some of our funding, our major funding come from Wikimedia Foundation through Rapid Grants, and then the other is through partnership, in-kind donations. We partner a lot with the Goethe Institute Namibia. They've been so kind to us by availing their hall and their facilities so that we can use them during training sessions and workshop sessions. And also the Ministry of Education in Namibia, they also sometimes give us their space to use, and also things such as goodie bags when we don't have funding, and then we have a workshop that we are currently, or that we host, and then we need to give out something out to members. I think that really helped us, and I think one of the another thing that we have is the partnership between the chapter Wikimedia South Africa. We rely mostly in terms of scholarship. I think so far we have gotten 6 scholarships for our members to attend conferences such as Wikindaba and Wikimania, because some of these scholarships are so much competitive, and to communities that are just coming up, it's very hard to get a scholarship. So Wikimedia South Africa, the chapter has been so gracious in terms of giving our members a scholarship to attend workshop and conferences. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So I've heard the Wikimedia Foundation, of course, but a lot of in-kind support from like-minded organizations or partnerships in general, expending the expertise to get funding and to work with other people who do the same kind of like open knowledge work. And yes, inter-chapter collaboration also, inter-affiliate or organization collaboration would be one of the things. I had another point that I want in this section, but I'm going to keep it for the end because I think that's going to be better. And I'm going to go into more into sustainability. We've talked about funding. We've talked about how to get support, about partnerships. But I think there's one thing that I'm mostly interested in. As someone who's been here for 20 years, I've seen a shift in how we looked at how people actually get into the movement. So Donatien talked about how important the volunteering is. But I also know that in Africa, volunteering is a very different thing from where I come from, right? In Europe, where we have time, we have money, we have access, we have all of the things. And in Africa, I've seen this volunteering as a much more kind of engaged, much more kind of ready to work kind of thing. So I'd be really interested, and I think a lot of people in the audience would be interested. How do you keep the volunteers engaged? Like, what are things and tips and tricks that you have to make sure that people keep coming? So I'm wondering whether you have strategies to keep them in the long term, or on the contrary, which might be an alternative, to make sure that if they stay not very long, that new ones come, right? So what are the tips and tricks that you use to make sure that people stay engaged and support with the human touch those organizations? Let's go reverse. Martin, will you start this time?
All right. Thank you for that question. I think the sustainability part of it, I always emphasize the impact that we are making in terms of the Wikipedia movement, or Wikimedia movement rather. What is the impact that we are making and the gap that we are filling? That is something that I keep emphasizing to my volunteers, to say, wait, it's not just about the workshop, it's not just about the training, but the impact that we are, the impact that we are making in the society. Let me say, this information that we are giving out, that one reference that we are giving out is something which is very, very much important, or the photo that we are contributing is something that is very, very much important. And also focusing on youth development, focusing on digital literacy skills. These are some of the things that keep my volunteers going, to say, it's not just about doing one workshop and then finishing it and then vanish in thin air, but then it's something that really that is something that we are giving out to the society. And that's why many people are keen to contribute, because they are making that impact. They are closing that gap, in the content gap on their country, culture, heritage. And also they are countering misinformation and disinformation that happen out there. So I think that is how I motivate my volunteers. I motivate my fellow colleagues to say, colleague, we have a big task to fulfill here.
Thank you so much. Motivation is such a hard thing to sustain, right? Donatien, would you go and tell us very briefly, because I have to translate, so you get twice the time. Comment tu motives les bénévoles, mais aussi les forces vives de l'association? How do you motivate your...
En fait, en général, nous, le profil du bénévole dans les contextes africains, contrairement en Europe, c'est un jeune en général qui est soit sur les bancs ou en fin d'études, et donc qui a relativement du temps et qui cherche un environnement d'expression pour se faire connaître, avoir de la visibilité et puis avoir du sens dans son engagement. Donc, c'est sur ces ressorts qu'on essaie de travailler en proposant un cadre.
Sorry, one of the first thing is really like looking at who is interested or might be interested in working with Wikimedia. Usually students who are still studying or who have finished their studies and have a bit of time, and who are looking for an environment where they can express themselves, where they can make themselves known, expand their capacity and such.
Voilà, donc c'est sur ces ressorts qu'on travaille déjà en leur présentant, leur donnant un environnement pour cela. Donc, Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire, à travers les ateliers, les éditatons, les projets, c'est un cadre pour eux d'expression et de participation citoyenne. Donc, ils voient concrètement ce qu'ils font et ils voient déjà ce que ça apporte. Quand tu écris un article sur Wikipédia, tout de suite, tu vois ce qui est là. Et puis, avec les retours qu'on dit, l'article a été vu tel nombre de fois et autres, c'est ce cadre-là. C'est un réseau qui rejoigne, puisque Wikimedia appartient au mouvement Wikimedia. Donc, en entrant à Wikimedia Côte d'Ivoire, vous entrez dans un mouvement mondial. Ça les intéresse. C'est un environnement de collaboration entre les aînés, donc les anciens qui sont là, et les jeunes qui arrivent. Ça les motive. Et puis, on fait circuler de l'information concernant les opportunités de Wiki, mais même souvent des opportunités d'emploi qui n'ont rien à voir avec Wiki, on les fait partager dans le... Donc, tout ça, Ça crée un environnement.
Stop. You gotta stop. So I'm trying to take notes. Sorry about this. Yeah, so basically really giving all of these people an environment where they can work within the editathons or the workshops, have this kind of citizen participation and making sure that they make an impact. The idea is really, as I think Martin was saying, you know, what is the impact that you're doing, but also the networking and making sure that you get to meet other people within the country, but also, of course, because Wikimedia is global, on a global level, and making sure that you get support in the in the wiki world, but also outside of it. And you were saying, Donatien, that you also support people finding work in wiki, but also outside of it. I'm gonna give the word to Tochi next, because otherwise it takes too much time. Go for it, Tochi. Tell us.
All right, thank you. So in my community, the way we try to motivate, or should I say sustain the interest of the people is, first of all, we have a goal we are working towards. So one of the reasons why we started the Igbo community was because the Igbo language was predicted by UNESCO to go extinct. So one of our very extreme goals is to preserve and digitize the Igbo language. And while we're at it, we are also trying to spread and share knowledge, make it open and accessible in Igbo language through various Wikimedia projects. So this is the goal that stands out for us. And when we invite new people into the community, or we're talking to new people, we let them know that the Igbo language is going extinct. It has been predicted to go extinct. It is still here. It is not going anywhere. And it will not go anywhere if you join me to be able to fight for this to stay. Now, while we are at this, we try to mentor these people, especially if they are new. And then we also try to create roles for them. We have different committees that handle different things. And these people have expertise. Our community members have expertise in different areas. It could be communication, it could be program planning, program management. We try to get them involved. Now, there are also people who are very like experts in different projects. So there are people who are super cool in Wiktionary. There are people who are super cool in Wikicommons. So when we want to host, like, let's say, Wiki Loves Africa events like photo contest, we get these ones that are very savvy in Wikimedia Commons. We make them, they become the facilitators to be able to train other people. The ones who are in Wiktionary, we hand this program over to them. Sometimes we get their own ideas, they bring their own program ideas, program suggestions, and we also include them and get them to lead those programs. So this creates roles for them that helps them to like feel like they are valued and also seen in the community. And then we also try to celebrate their impacts. We also try to, not just the inputs they're making, we also try to celebrate their impacts. And even for the ones who are not editing or doing anything in the community, we make sure that every month we ask for people's birthdays. In fact, there's even a group, a committee of people who do this every month. Let's say this month of March, this month of May, were you born in the month of May? We want you to let us know. We'll post you, we'll make a fine flyer for you, put your picture, we'll celebrate you across our social media channels or even in our WhatsApp group. This helps to make them feel like they are part of the community, they belong. And I remember when we were celebrating some and didn't celebrate some people felt left out in the beginning. And then we had to create this committee because I couldn't do it alone. We had to create this committee that will help to celebrate people every month. So with that, they felt they were valued. They felt that they really belonged here and they wanted to stay here. So these are the strategies we use. We create roles, mentorship paths, celebrate their impacts and not just outputs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Harriet, anything you want to add?
So mine would be storytelling. And our group is evidence of how we've grown as just volunteers, then to organizers, and then to have key roles within the movement. So we do share our stories with them. I always share my stories. I also highlight the stories of other team members who were once just volunteers and then they come to become very key influential people. We also like to share the idea of volunteering to learn some skills. So in Ghana, the ways people actually gain skills is through internships or attachments. But in the case where you do not have an attachment or internship, what do you do to gain a skill? And you're also looking to gain skills that will help you become very valuable. And so we try to use these angles of volunteering, and then we say Wikipedia is a space for you. Just explore. We are evidence of this exploration. We have all these skills, degrees, and all those things, but we gave ourselves time. We share our story so that they understand that it's not going to be easy, but then you put in this work, do this, and explore the movement for yourself. And it kind of.
Oh, Harriet went still, or is it just me? No, I think it's Harriet. Everyone is here. Just wave if you're still here. Fine. Sorry about that. But thank you, Harriet. So what I heard is storytelling, celebrating, networking, making sure they know what impact they're making. I'm sorry that Harriet dropped off the call. And all of these things are super interesting. But I have one last question, and you're going to have to be super quick in answering it because we have 3 minutes left on our time for us. Welcome back, Harriet. Sorry, I had to take over. You got cut, but thank you so much for your story about storytelling. We got that. So thank you so much. I'm interested, and this is really in a few words, and Harriet, I'm going to go back to you first because you got cut, so you get to talk more this time. The future, what should Wikimedia invest in terms of investing in the bodies and the entities that we have? You know, full disclosure, I am now in this global resource distribution committee, and I'm interested, you know, what do you think is the thing we shouldn't be investing in? Maybe it's money, but not just, right? Can you give us in a few words as a closing idea, you know, what should the future look like in the way we actually support all of these entities?
Okay, so mine will be to support innovations. We understand the age that we find ourselves in, and then also Wikipedia and its sister projects being very relevant, even in the age of AI. So it will be nice to support innovations that are coming to ensure that we are staying relevant, but also maintaining our goal of actually ensuring that everyone has access to the sum of all human knowledge. That is what I be it financial, be it human resource, by providing trainings and all those stuff. It is very important that we stay relevant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harriet. Martin.
Okay, sorry, I'm mute. I think Wikimedia Foundation should focus more on training and capacity development. I think it has been done, but it still needs to be done, and continuous capacity development, as well as strengthen ties with governmental organizations so that we can raise more awareness. It will make the work of volunteers easy.
Thank you so much. Donatien.
Je rejoins un peu ce qui a été dit précédemment. Investir dans les communautés, dans le renforcement des capacités des nouvelles générations de Wikipédiens, et dans des programmes de mentorat ou de transition, de sorte que les générations de dinosaures comme vous, et peut-être un peu nous qui sommes en train de devenir un peu vieux aussi, avec de nouveaux enjeux, on puisse sereinement, facilement transmettre pour qu'il y ait cette transition facile avec tous les nouveaux qui arrivent et que le mouvement continue. Donc, renforcement des capacités, développement des compétences, leadership, et ainsi de suite, et beaucoup travailler sur la communauté.
Yeah, Donatien joins what has been said before him, invest in communities and their capacities, also with the idea of mentoring new generations of people who come and are interested in our projects, and facilitate the transition from the dinosaurs like me to the less dinosaurs like him, but making sure that there is some transmission happening and that we can support the new the new generations. Tochi, you have the last word.
Yeah, so they've said everything. So for me, more localized support system would be very interesting. Like in the Nigerian community, where the community resource team is trying to build the Nigerian national funding program. So these local groups understand their context better, and we can actually move faster. So this kind of support is really very great. And then language and accessibility support, I will always say that whatever support we are getting must be culturally and culturally inclusive. Please.
You got the last word, so you get to say whatever you want. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, everyone. I think this was way too short. It was a super interesting conversation, and maybe we have to think about do a sequel of this, because I have a lot of questions that I couldn't ask this time around. But I just want to sum up in a few words. I think volunteers come as like the first thing that comes out. No organizational bodies, no official bodies without people to sustain them. And thank you for your tips and tricks of how to make sure that they are recognized and seen, and that they carry the flame further. Impact, really thinking about what kind of impact, especially in Africa, our project, the Wikimedia project, can have, and how do we make sure that both we teach the impact that we can have to the people who come and work with us, but also that we make sure that this impact really kind of puts Africa as a whole, in every single of your countries or the themes that you're working on, really in our projects and in the knowledge, the open knowledge. So really, thank you so much for everything. And I think that's me done, over and out. And I give back to Donia, I think, for the rest of the time. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Delphine, and thanks to all our guests who joined us today. It was really a fruitful and interesting conversation. We'd like to have more time, but because we still have another section. So now we are going to the last and the final part for today, which is in focus section. Today we'll have an interview to highlight some special moments in Wiki Loves Africa 2025. I think most of our audience already know about this photo contest. It's already organized since 2014. It's organized and led by Wiki in Africa. So now we are collaborating two projects of Wiki in Africa, Wiki Africa Hour and Wiki Loves Africa. The contest is to highlight Africa visual content on Wikimedia Commons. And in today's interview, we'll have we are honored to have Hillary, who is the Wiki Loves Africa facilitator. And we also have Daba from Nigeria, who is the local organizer of Wiki Loves Africa this year. So thank you so much for accepting the invitation and joining us today. Yeah. Hi, Hillary.
Yeah. Hi, Dunia.
Hi, Daba. Can you hear me? You're muted. Yeah, just open your mic. Okay, thank you so much for attending today. I'm going to start with Hillary, as you were the facilitator of the competition this year. So we want to highlight some moments of this year's one. What are the main the main things that happened this year? Maybe achievements or things that was achieved for the first year. So share with us some of the interesting things, maybe trainings we did this year, communities that are participating for the first time. We would like to hear from you.
Okay, thank you very much, Zenia. Thank you for this opportunity, and I am very much happy to be here. So Wiki Loves Africa 2025 to me was a good campaign, and we have so many exciting moments, and everything started from the office hours for the grant cycles. Yeah, so most of the years we have a few communities get grants for Wikiloves Africa, and this year we took a different turn, and everything turned out very well. We had much community get grant for Wikiloves Africa, which led to a whole lot of result this year. And the campaign started fully with a launch. Yeah, we had Wikiloves Africa launch in March, and it was an exciting event where we have so many activities. We had the CEO of Wikimedia Foundation, Mariana Iskandar. She was with us, and she helped us launch the event and gave us few words and her support for the Wikiloves Africa 2025. And also we have so many exciting moments ranging from the trainings. Yeah, for this year, for first time in Wikiloves Africa, we had an audio training this year. We had someone, a winner, two-time winner of audio prizing for Wikiloves Africa. He came and trained us on how to contribute to audios and what to look out for. And we had so many exciting trainings. We had a total of 11 trainings, excluding the Wikiloves Africa launch. And also we had new communities participate in Wikiloves Africa. We have so many communities from Nigeria. I think in Nigeria we had about 11 different communities participating in Wikiloves Africa. And also there is an exciting thing about this year. We had a whole lot of collaboration. We have a collaboration between Libya and Morocco, came together in one grant and applied for Wikiloves Africa, participated together in Wikiloves Africa. We have a collaboration from Nigeria, 4 communities in Nigeria. We have another 2 groups from Nigeria, then another extra 2 groups from Nigeria. So with this, we were able to achieve a lot.
How many communities from Nigeria, Hilary? If you have the stats, how many communities from Nigeria joined?
Okay, in Nigeria, we had a total of 11 communities.
Wow.
Yeah, we have 11 communities participated from Nigeria. And also, Wikiloves Africa, the milestone that we hit this year, we have never had that before. I think the highest we've gone before was 16,000 images, but this year we had over 30,000 images, which is something that we should celebrate actually, because having like double of what we had last year is a good thing, and I feel it's a great success, and I feel the theme was just so good, and it's something that everybody in Africa can relate with. You know, in Africa, nobody can do without farming. So considering farm to play this year is a good thing, and we are able to achieve a great match. So I will say we can't do this without with just the theme alone. We can't do this. So I won't forget to mention the impact of the organizers from different communities. Yes, without them, we will not be able to do this. And also the participants. You are all the brain behind this work. So we say kudos to you and everyone that supported us for Wikiloves Africa this year. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the audio part of the contest, we already did this many times before to have the audio prize, but this year was the first time to have a specific training for audio prize, right?
Yeah, this year we had audio prizes before, but then this year is the first time we're having training for the audio category.
Yeah, actually, personally, I'm so interested to know the results because there are many great works through different communities, and as you said, the theme was very special and is really related to Africa. When you talk about the food, like the farm, so it's really related to Africa. Thank you so much, Hilary. You mentioned that Nigeria did great work, and there are many communities shared in the Wikiloves Africa this year. So we have Daba, who is one of the organizers in Nigerian community. So thank you so much, Daba, for joining us. And we want to have like a quick overview of what you did in your community, specifically that I know that this is your first time to organize event, and I hope that many listeners could benefit from your experience and maybe organize if they are afraid to take the step and start organizing something similar. So yeah, share with us some of the your experience, please.
All right. Thank you, Donna. As one who has always been behind the lens, it's usually not that easy to organize or co-organize an event. So this was actually a collaboration between me and my partner, Michael. And as one who is very proactive when it comes to image, when it comes to documentary, I didn't slack at all. But we had challenges. The very first challenge was on getting to our very major point, which was the Songhai farm. And we noticed that the place has been abandoned. Like, you know what that means? We went for first oversight seeing of the farm, a very big farm at that. Songhai farm is a very big farm in Rivers State. So on getting to the farm, we noticed that it has been abandoned, and they just had just peasant farmers who are just farming in the facilities and within the area. So we had to say, okay, since this is like this, let us engage the local farmers. Actually, they are still the ones who farm here when it's mechanized. So they are the ones who are being trained. So we had to improvise and we get them on board. We had to make them come, and they waited for us to arrive because it was a very long distance journey, driving down from Port Harcourt and going with 24 volunteers. 24 volunteers wasn't that easy, but we actually did something great with what we got. We had some farmers calling us, we should come to their farm, we should come and document and tell their stories. One man had to call us that he has a very big farm where he plants just yams and stuff like that. So what we thought was a challenge now became something that we overcame by answering people, calling us to come and, document them while they are filming, because we actually told them
where did you target photographers?
You said?
Yeah, how did you target photographers, or you just had like a general call for volunteers?
How did I what?
Target photographers, call for photographers to join you.
Oh yeah, as a photographer, I belong to a community of photographers.
So yeah, it was easy to have many people interested in photography.
I have a lot of persons. If you check my Facebook now, I had a training yesterday where I groomed some persons. Now even some photographers are still coming, asking me that they want to join my next cohort. Like, everybody wants to contribute to open source knowledge. So many photographers in Niger Delta wants to join me as we speak. Any post I make now, if you go there, I talk about open source knowledge. They want to participate. They want to join me in contributing to open source knowledge. Professional photographers, I have a whole lot of them. As we speak, I have over 15 of them in my team. Over 15 of them in my team, ready to take up the next Wikiloves Africa. So it's quite interesting. I have always been behind the camera. I have never dreamt of organizing an event.
Yeah, it's great to have you today with us. I just was asking if you managed to have a Rapid grant for this. I didn't get if you mentioned that.
Oh yes, we got Rapid grant. Me and Michael, we got Rapid grant for this, and that was how we were able to execute what we did. We were supposed to have 2 photo walks. Well, we ended up having 4 photo walks.
Wow!
Because of the passion, because of the passion and love for Wikiloves Africa, the photographers were like, "When are we going for the next one? Let's organize it. The money is finished. Let us wait." I don't know what's again. So it was a passionate appeal from photographers. They are willing to undergo or take more photo walks, and I can tell you that it was interesting. You know, the photo work was interesting. Those who don't know about photography, where I groomed them, I taught them photography. I even had special class for photographers who are interested. And I also told them that it's only Wikimedia Foundation that can give you this access to me, to be groomed by me, that naturally you won't have access to me to train you for photography. So some of them who have been, I know some people come from neighboring states to join the photo work. Honestly speaking, some people traveled because they wanted to meet me and learn photography under me. They traveled from neighboring states to join the photo work.
Sounds so interesting. Yeah, you did great work.
Yes.
Just like just in seconds, if you want to advise a new organizer who want to organize Wiki Loves Africa next year, what will you advise him in just a few seconds?
Yes, you know, initially it looks very scary. Me, I'm from the Niger Delta. You know, when the sea is rough, the fishermen don't relent. What they do is that they use that period to mend their nets, like they repair their nets. So those who would want to organize or be part of the next event, they should start now, start preparing themselves. As I speak to you, I have started for next year waiting, because I've started giving trainings, I've started training people. And you know, in this movement, if you don't have passion for it, you would not go far. Most people don't understand what open knowledge is all about. You must have passion and you must be willing to share your knowledge with others. So I have been doing documentary photography, and coming into Wikipedia 2 years ago was something I would say I'm very happy that. Before I conclude, there was one of the photo work we did to Buguma. The image has been featured on Wikipedia article, Onunu food. The food has been featured on Wikipedia article, and that is a great pleasure for me that some of the images that we have documented so far has been featured on Wikipedia article, and that is what we are supposed to be doing. Some of these things are not well documented, and Niger Delta has been marginalized on this movement, and by God's grace, we are going to bring Niger Delta activities up on Wikipedia. That is why I paid more attention to the Niger Delta region.
Yeah, you did great work. Thank you so much. And Hilary, same question to you as Wiki Loves Africa facilitator now. If you want to advise an organizer that would like to organize a local event in just a few seconds, how would you like to advise him?
Yeah, I will say just the same thing that Solomon has said. You know, you don't prepare for a battle a day before the battle. You start preparing yourself before, like a long time before the battle. So if you want to organize Wiki Loves Africa for 2026, this is the time you start preparing, start putting your team together, people you want to work with, get to know the skills and the capacity that your community has. And if there's anything you need to build, don't wait till 2026. Start preparing now. Get your team together. Start preparing for grants. Know the next rapid grant cycle that will be available and will be suitable for Wiki Loves Africa. Put an eye on our social media handles, our website, and also our Telegram channels, because this is where we are passing information. Just stay glued and be watching. You see information come across. Prepare yourself for the next grant cycle and put out your grants on time. Don't wait till it is March. Don't wait till February. But then Wiki Loves Africa 2026 starts in 2025. So don't relent. Just prepare yourself on time.
Yeah, and as Hilary said, we all here to help on Telegram channels, on our Facebook pages, so you can ask and you will find many people to help. Thank you so much, Hilary, and thanks, Daba. for all your great work you did in the Wiki Loves Africa this year. And I'm sure, Hilary, you still have too much stuff to work because still, with the with the results and so on. So it was great. Yeah, it was great work. And as usual, Wiki Loves Africa is like in the uptrending each year. So thank you so much. And want to thank all our guests who joined us for today, and our guest host for the main conversation section. And I want to thank especially our audience who stayed until the end. Wait for us for the next months, and don't forget to subscribe us on YouTube and follow us on our Facebook channel. So wait for us next month. Bye-bye.
Wiki Africa Hour is a production of Wiki in Africa that supports the development of the Wikimedia movement across Africa. We value your suggestions on social media for the topics you want to discuss. We look forward to your participation next month at the same time and on the same channel. Hit the subscribe button to stay open and up to date, and follow Wiki Africa on social media. See you at the next Wiki Africa Hour.